Conjugaison du présent du subjonctif. This is an introduction to the subjunctive mood. This will explain a little bit about what it is, but mostly I'm going to talk about how to form it and one or two uses of it as a simple introduction.
As you know, verbs have tenses, past, present, future, etc. They also have moods, and this is something that you may not have discussed before. Until this point, you've been using verbs in the indicatif. So the présent de l'indicatif. The indicatif is used to describe things that are true or factual. The subjonctif is a mood that can be expressed in various verb tenses in French. We are going to start with the présent du subjonctif, but we will be learning other verb tenses in the subjonctif as well. The subjonctif is used to describe things that might be, but are not necessarily, true or factual. And again, we are going to talk more about usage later. We are just going to focus on formation for now. There are specific guidelines governing use of the subjonctif. Two expressions followed by the subjonctif are il faut que and il est nécessaire que. So for now, we're going to work only with those expressions. We cannot use the subjonctif in a vacuum. We have to use it as part of expressions. So we are going to focus on these two. Il faut que and il est nécessaire que. Both of them mean it is necessary that. Both can be translated in English too. It is necessary that. To form the présent du subjonctif, you're going to start with the il pluriel form of the present indicative. So you're going to take the present tense that you've been doing forever, and you're going to start with the il plural form of the verb. And this is whether the verb is regular or irregular in the présent de l'indicatif. You are going to start with that form. And this is why it is important to be familiar with your irregulars as well. You're going to take off the ENT and only the ENT, and we'll do some examples in a moment that will show you why that is important. And then you're going to add the endings. The présent du subjonctif has its own endings. There's only one set of endings for the présent du subjonctif. So it's easy, you're only dealing with one set of endings. Je is I, tu, is, il, elle, yel, on is I, nous is IONS, vous is IEZ, and il, elle, yel is ENT. There are a few verbs that work slightly differently when forming the présent du subjonctif. If you have a stem changing verb in the present indicative, so you have a verb like acheter that adds the accent, or you have a verb like préférer that changes the accent, or you have a verb like appeler that doubles the L, or you have a verb like payer or essayer where you change the Y to I. All of those verbs, those types of verbs are going to be slightly different in the present, in the présent du subjonctif. Irregular verbs that have different stems for the nous and il forms. So for example, boire, where you have nous buvons, but ils boivent. So those are going to work a little bit differently as well. To form the présent du subjonctif, if you have a change. For the je, tu, il, elle, and il, elle plural forms, you are going to follow the regular rule. And this would also be for the il and el plural forms, and on as well. So you're just going to follow the regular rule. So il pluriel, take off the ent at the endings. But for the nous and vous forms, you're going to start with the nous form and take off the ons before adding your endings. What this does is it makes the présent du subjonctif what we sometimes call a shoe verb or a boot verb, where the je, tu, il, elle, yell, on, and il, elle, yell plural forms are going to use the il form minus the ent, but the nu and vous forms are going to use the nu form minus the ons. Your endings are all still the same. Again, you're going to add the endings for the présent du subjonctif. So let's give some examples. It is necessary that I see. Il faut que je vois. All right, so il faut que is one of the ways that we say it is necessary. We could also use il est nécessaire que. Je vois. So this is starting with the il form in the present indicative, which is V-O-I-E-N-T. Then I'm going to take off the ENT and add my E ending. It is necessary that she go out. Il est nécessaire qu'elle sorte. So il est nécessaire, that's the other way to say it is necessary. I could say il faut que. It does not matter which one I use. They are completely interchangeable. To go out is sortir. The il plural form is sort. And when I take the ENT off and add the E ending, il est nécessaire qu'elle sorte. It is necessary that we read. Il est nécessaire que nous lisions. Again, starting with lise, taking off the ENT, and adding the IONS. It is necessary that the girls take. Il faut que les filles prennent. Right? So prendre is prenne minus the ENT, and then you add the ENT back on. Now I know that seems kind of funny. They're exactly the same. How do you know that it's the subjonctif? Because of context. In this case, il faut que. So it is really important to be sure that you understand that. It's still good to be in the habit of, in your head, take off the ENT, add it back on, because it will help you be in the habit for any verb where the il form of the present indicative does not end in ENT must have an irregular form. So it's really easy to know if it's irregular. If you go to do the il form, for example, of aller, the il form for aller is ils vont. And you're like, okay, there's my il form. I'm going to take off the ENT. Oops, there's no ENT. So this must be irregular, and I have to make sure I double check that. Some verbs have irregular stems in the présent du subjonctif. For the following verbs, you're going to start with the stem, and then you're going to add your regular endings. So you don't have to memorize new endings, you just have to know the stem. For faire, it is face. For pouvoir, puisse. And for savoir, sache. Verbs with irregular stems use the same set of endings. So again, if I'm going to say it is necessary that I know something, il faut que je sache, starting with SACH because that's the irregular, and then adding the regular ending. The following verbs have irregular conjugations, and there are a few, not many, but a few. Aller. J'aille, tu ailles, il, elle, yell, on aille, nous allions, vous alliez, il, elle, yell, aille. You are going to pronounce this double L as a y in the je, tu, il, elle, yell forms. But for the nu and vous forms, it would be le, like aller. Nous allions, vous alliez. Avoir. J'ai, tu es, il, elle, yell, on est, nous ayons, vous ayez, il, elle, yell, est. So again, this is pronounced like eh in ayons. Ayons. For the nu and vous forms. Ayons, ayez. Être. Je sois, tu sois, il, elle, yell, on soit, Nous soyons, vous soyez, il, elle, elle, soit. You will hear this a lot in commands, especially moms to their children. Sois gentil, be nice, sois sage, be good. The subjunctive, the present subjunctive, is also the command form, the imperative form for these irregular verbs. Vouloir, je veuille, tu veuilles, il, elle, elle, on veuille, nous voulions, vous vouliez, il, elle, elle veuille. And again, it is a y sound in that double L, but in the nous and vous, it's le. So let's do a few more examples. It is necessary that I do my homework. Il faut que je fasse mes devoirs. This is irregular, and then I add the E ending. It is necessary that she be good. Il est nécessaire qu'elle soit gentille. This is irregular. It is necessary that we go. Il est nécessaire que nous y allions. Again, irregular. It is necessary that the girls be able to talk. Il faut que les filles puissent parler. And this is another one where the beginning is irregular, and then we're going to add our endings. The irregulars are the only ones where the présent du subjonctif and the présent de l'indicatif are not the same. I know if this is not familiar to you, if you haven't seen it before, it's feeling a little bit overwhelming right now. That is all right. The more you practice, the easier it will get.